In this video, we're going to be discussing the high-frequency current. The high-frequency current is referred to as the thermal current because it produces heat. The galvanic current, remember, was a chemical current because it produced either an acid or an alkaline effect, and the sinusoidal and faradic currents are mechanical because they cause muscular contractions. And remember, as such, we're not allowed to use them in California. Now, if you look at the board, you see the word sinusoidal in quotes. That's because the high frequency unit is a form of the sinusoidal current. It's important for you to get that concept because if it's a form of, it means it has the same qualities. So let's take a look at water. Water has a liquid form. It also has a solid form, and that solid form is still the same constituency. It has the same components. The form is just altered. So in the high frequency unit, because it uses the sinusoidal current, but it oscillates so rapidly that it's also referred to as the oscillating current. These rapid oscillations are what produce the heat. Kind of like, remember when you were a kid and you rub your arm like this, the more you rub it, you get that friction, it gets warm. That's the same concept. So I'm using the sinusoidal current that creates the high frequency effect. So in reality, the high frequency unit is an excellent treatment for keeping your skin and muscles of the face toned. When you're using the high frequency, because it's a form of the sinusoidal current, you get the benefit of the muscular contractions without the actual contractions because of the rapid oscillation of the electrical current. In the United States, we use what is referred to as the Tesla current. But in the European countries, they use the d'Arsenval. When you go on Amazon to check out the prices, you're going to find Tesla currents are very expensive, and the d'Arsenval is very reasonable. For $29 to $39, you can get a really nice unit. The unit I'm going to be using today, I'm going to kind of move the camera to show you a picture of it. I had to put it on the floor, but that's okay. Is this unit here. This is your high frequency. It has the skin scrubber. It has the electric brushes. It has the galvanic current. And it has the spray and vac, which doubles as a microderm. So this machine was like about between $400 and $500 on Amazon. And when you're working as an esthetician and you want to be mobile, you want to have a mobile where I can go to people's homes, this is an excellent unit for you to get. The handheld part is this portion. Now, as with all appliances, because it's electricity, there are some safety issues that you need to be aware of. This is the handle, and in here is where the electrical unit is. This is what produces the high frequency current, and it's the coils, and they get hot on the inside. When I insert my electrode, if my machine is turned on and I touch it between here and here, I can get an electrical shock. Okay, this is not appropriate. When you're making your contact, you're going to use your other hand. You'll make your contact and then you go to the face. And if you need to, you can remove it, or you can leave your finger there to prevent it kind of from bumping around. But what you need to understand is because this is where the coils are, this gets hot on the inside. As soon as my metal electrode makes contact with these coils, this area right here produces a lot of current, not the same amount that comes out here. So I need to be sure that I'm holding it back here. I'm not doing this, and I'm definitely not doing this. Okay, I'm gonna hold it back here, making contact out here with my other hand. Now, this current is not an acid or alkaline or a positive negative current. It's a sinusoidal current, so it's an alternating current. However, the gases that are emitted from this unit are ozone and nitrous oxide. These two gases are negatively charged. So when if I put a moisturizer on and I'm using my high frequency, the moisturizer is going to stick to the electrode. I can't push it in. If my product is negative, as in hyaluronic acid, and I put it, when the ozone is emitted, because ozone is negative, it's going to push the hyaluronic acid or the negatively charged product toward the skin. Instead of pulling away, it's going to push it toward it. Because the skin is positive, the skin is going to absorb it a lot more readily. This makes penetration into the epidermis very effective. However, the chances of it getting through into the dermis are slim to none. Remember my basement membrane, the transdermal barrier, the dermal epidermal junction is designed to keep stuff out. So the high frequency, where it will push product, if it's negative, in through the epidermis, it's not going to get into the dermis. This is more for epidermal treatments. Acneic skin, mature skin, has a lot of benefits. Now I'm going to be looking at the actual electrode. This is the base of the electrode, and in this silver base is either neon gas or argon gas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the machine on, and you're going to see, maybe if I cover it up so you get light, the violet ray. This is the one that's for oily acneic skin. This one will calm the oil production from your oil glands that are in your skin, and the ozone and nitrous oxide destroy bacteria that's on the surface of the skin. Turn the machine off. Replace that. This is the mushroom electrode. This one is referred to as the spoon. I'm going to put this one in now. Turn the machine on, and you're going to see the red. Oh boy, that one really shows up. You're going to see the neon gas. This one is for dry, mature skin, because the red stimulates the fibroblast cells to make collagen. So if I'm using it, I can take my finger off of it. Okay, to take it off, I'm going to touch it to remove it. This machine is very mild, and if you pop off, it's not going to hurt you, but it's not recommended that you do it that way. It can cause a little shock. If your client has braces, this electricity will go straight through and go, not a good idea. If they have a lot of malgahide fillings, not a good idea. If they have dental implants, not a good idea, because remember, this gets hot. So if I'm working around this area of the jaw, upper jaw, lower jaw, and the client has dental implants, which are usually metal, screwed down into the bone, that metal can get hot, and you can burn bone tissue. I have a complete shoulder replacement, so technically I'm not a candidate, okay? I cannot use the high frequency down my neck this way because of the metal in my shoulder. I can use it on this side with no problem. I can use it on my face with no problem. And let me tell you, if you think for 1 minute, I am not going to use this unit to keep my skin supple, my muscles on my face pretty healthy, you are so wrong. Okay, just because you're contraindicated doesn't mean you're going to do what you're supposed to do, because that's not the way it works. This tool here doesn't fit this unit, but it'll give you an idea. And this is for the neck, okay? So that you don't have to go up and down, up and down, up and down. It makes it one stroke. It's so much easier when you have the horseshoe where you can do the neck. This one is the rake, and this one is for scalp and hair treatments. Okay, so I can go through here, and the benefit, of course, is that because it's the electrical current, it brings blood and lymph up into the hair follicle. So if the hair follicle isn't dead, this will actually stimulate hair regrowth. when I was in beauty college, they told us that, and of course I'm one of these people, and show me, I've got to know. So I bought a unit, and my dad was one of those dads, you know, that had the hair fringe around here like this, but right back here, he had what we call like peach fuzz, and you could see that there was fuzzy there, and so I used the high frequency on him, and we stimulated those fuzzy hairs to actually grow a hair. Now, if the hair follicle's dead, this is not a miracle tool. It is not going to give life to a dead hair follicle. That's not going to happen. So for male patterned baldness, you're not going to get much relief. But for the baldness that starts back here, which is stress related, okay, in the back of the head, if you check out people now that you know about this, you'll see the fuzzy hairs. And what's happened is they're not getting enough blood and lymph supply to actually produce a healthy hair. So if you're stimulating this with the high frequency and you're bringing up the blood and the lymph, then you're going to generate hair growth. I decreased my dad's bald spot by about 2 inches, which was significant enough for me to go, you know what, this works. Now the other problem, okay, is because I'm who I am, and when I'm using the tool, I'm gonna come in here, okay, because I want the lids of my eyes, my eyelids, I want them to maintain their collagen and elastin. I want droopy eyelids, okay? So I'm gonna use it here. However, because it stimulates hair growth, I have to tweeze a lot more often than I would if I didn't use it there. So it does actually stimulate the hair growth. I'm gonna pick this up and try not to drop it and break it. So my overview for this particular portion is it's a thermal current that uses the sinusoidal. It produces heat. It has either neon or argon gas, depending on the gas at the base of the electrode. The gas at the base of the electrode is what provides the benefit. As long as my skin can see the color of the ray. Now remember, when we did the nerves, we talked about how the sensory receptors pick up the color of light, which in the next video we're going to be discussing light therapy with our LED lights, and it's the same principle. When the gas coming out of here is red, the sensory receptors in my skin pick up red. That red goes to the brain, and the brain comes back and says, okay, fibroblast cells, you need to get on it. We need some more collagen. We need some more elastin down here. We need some more oil glands. You need to wake up. This skin needs a little more oil. If I'm using the violet, it's going blue, 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 blue to the brain, blue, 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 blue back to the skin, and it's going to tell the skin, chill out, relax, stop all that excess oil production. Her skin doesn't need it, but only if my skin can, quote, see it. If I have put a mask on my face, let's say that I'm using a zinc-based mask or a clay mask, and it's red, yellow, purple, pink, or green, whatever that color of the mask is, then my skin can no longer see the light ray. The only benefit now I'm going to get is the bacterial. It will still kill bacteria, but both colors do that, because it's the ozone gas and nitrous oxide that actually destroy bacteria. Now, the bacteria in acne is called P. acne. It's the Propionibacterium. And this dies, the blue light kills Propionibacteria. The ozone and nitrous oxide also kill the Propionibacterium. So if I give regular treatments, and the key here is regular. Once again, we'll use the gym analogy. If I go to the gym once a month, I'm not going to see a benefit. If I go twice a month, at the end of the year I'll see a benefit, because it's going to take me a long time. But if I go once a week, every week, by the end of 2 or 3 months, I'm going to see a lot of improvement, provided I haven't stuffed my mouth with, you know, donuts and stuff like that that totally annihilate the ability of you to lose weight or tone yourself. So whatever you're doing, you need to remember that the benefits that are listed in your Module 4 handout are only there if the skin can see it. The bacterial benefit is always available. The stimulating hair growth is always available. But the ability to equalize glandular activity is based on the color and my skin being clean and can see it so it can respond. So this is what you need to take away for the first part. Then we're going to look at the other benefits when I'm using it with enzymes. Now, enzymes are negatively charged, so it's a perfect product to put on to push further into the skin. Enzymes almost always end in the suffix "ase." In chemistry, we discuss how, when you're looking at ingredients and you're reading words, how do you know what it is? Okay, so if you see mayonnaise, you know it's got enzymes. Okay, so the word "ase" at the end of a word is usually enzymatic. And enzymes, in your module, you're going to see the medical definition of enzymes, and the key there is that it kills disease-producing microorganisms. Well, now I have a double effect here, don't I? I have my high-frequency unit that liberates ozone and nitrous oxide that also kills the bacteria on the skin. I'm using it over an enzyme mask that also has the ability. I'm pushing the enzyme mask down into the pores of the epidermis. Now I'm going to see some actual benefit from my treatment. I must understand cause and effect. Always in skincare and hair too, A plus B equals C. A is the client's skin or hair. B is what's in the bottle. In other words, what product am I applying to the skin? What product am I applying to the hair? Because A plus B equals what it's going to turn out to be. And I've either chosen the right products and I'm getting the effect I want, or I have chosen a product that wasn't really as effective, so I didn't really see good or bad results. The client's going, nah, I didn't notice any difference. This is not worth $150, okay, because I really didn't see the benefit. Or I'm going to choose my products based on the science of chemistry and electricity, the science of the structure of the skin and hair, and now I'm going to see dynamic results in most cases. And that's what makes a difference between these services that clients receive from you. It's not what you're doing is wrong, because it's not wrong. I'm kind of like Fonzie in there. The wrong word just doesn't come out. I prefer not as effective, because wrong means that you're going to get an adverse reaction. And wrong would just mean that you didn't do your homework with allergies and or a product in the skin that the client was sensitive to. And that is the only way you're going to be wrong, is because you didn't do your research sufficiently. You're not going to buy a bad product. They don't sell bad products. The FDA would take it off the market. They're just not used efficiently and effectively. They're also really excellent for wound healing, okay? Now that I know all of the benefits and such, I have methods of application, okay? And this is referred to as the direct method. You, the technician, are holding the electrode, and it's being applied to the skin of the client or the scalp, okay? Then I have the indirect method. On the indirect method, my client is going to be holding the electrode and the handle at the same time. Notice we're not touching it in between here. I'm touching it on the end of the glass. It's in the machine, and I'm holding it like this. And the client is at rest, and she's holding the unit. You, the technician, apply tapotement. Now what's happening is the electricity is coming up through her body, up through the subdermis, up through the dermis to the epidermis. So as you're applying tapotement, I'm bringing electricity up into all 3 layers of the skin. Remember the direct method, only epidermal. But when I'm using the indirect method, when the client is holding the electrode like this is indirect, and you, the technician, are doing tapotement. Now remember, the skin needs to be damp because water is the conductor of electricity. When you're using electrical modalities, you always have to make sure the client is thoroughly hydrated so that there's enough moisture in the tissues inside the body and externally in the skin that the electricity can flow freely. So I'm doing tapotement on the client's face, and she's gonna feel little pricklies in her skin, okay? And you're gonna feel little pricklies in the end of your fingers. That's how you know it's coming through. When you're using the direct method, you, the technician, have no contact with the electricity. But as soon as I do tapotement, I am receiving the electrical current too, okay? So now I have to make sure I'm not contraindicated to electricity to use this method. The general method is just this. The client holds the electrode and you don't touch her, nothing happens. She's just having a 5 to 10 minute treatment. And the benefit of this, and normally when I'm in a classroom environment, I'm holding it and I'm letting the electricity go through my body because I'm recharging my batteries. Okay, your body runs on electrical current, remember? I have positive and negative ions. So as I'm holding this electrode, that my body's being re-energized with electricity, a 15-minute treatment is worth 4 hours of sleep. Okay, so when your client has had a high frequency unit for 5 minutes, she's going to have as though she had an hour power nap. It's that beneficial to the body. Now, normally you will use the direct method, but once again, for yourselves, you can do general. It's very beneficial for the body. It also helps keep you from getting ill because your body, your brain runs on so many megahertz of energy, which we'll talk about in the microcurrent machine when we're doing microcurrent facelifting, and we talk about that machine. Then you'll have a better understanding of how electricity affects the brain and the spinal cord, because remember, you are a battery operated appliance. You run on positive and negative ions. So everything that you do is either going to be good, bad, or ugly, and hopefully it's going to be a good experience for you.